It's the Playhouse Podcast with Kat and JJ.
Believe it. I missed everything.
Miss the show?
What am I going to do?
Check out the Daily Podcast.
We know a lot of people are going to listen to this either on their way to work or at work or on their way home, but your boss, I mean, could you do their job better? We talked to a guy this morning that says he could, but just doesn't want to. You got to dig into this with us coming up in a couple of seconds. Here comes the podcast. I wanted to talk about your hobby and what you feel is the correct amount of time you've spent on that hobby throughout the course of your life. Were you able to narrow it down?
So I think the one that took up a lot of my time, and I think I told myself, like, you're enjoying this, you're enjoying this, you're enjoying this, like the whole time, was scrapbooking. Yes, we got a promo out of it. Yes, I met a lot of really great listeners. Do you remember Scrapping with Kat?
Yeah, I do remember Scrapping with Kat. I was like, oh my God, I forgot all about that.
So we'd meet at like this scrapbooking place in the back, and they'd have these tables set up for us. We had wine, we had like charcuterie boards.
That was a prerequisite when Kat was setting this up, though, by the way. She's
wine
like,
and
we
cheese.
need a wine sponsor.
But it was a lot of fun. Like, I met really great women, and, you know, seeing their photos and what they were scrapbooking, I thought was my favorite part. I'm just not creative like that. I'm a different kind of creative, you know, and it's just the sitting down and making myself do a project like that. It didn't fill my cup.
Didn't resonate?
It didn't resonate. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm now like in it every Thursday. And then I started not doing it and just walking around and having people tell me their stories of why they're doing it. So it was a full blown hobby for a year. It was a lot of time.
So it was once a week for a year. So you're probably in 50 hours.
Yeah. And then my mother-in-law she's got such a big heart, and then she loves Christmas time. And so that's all I got. That's all I got. Scrapping and stuff. I got
you don't do any of it anymore?
Metal rolling tower with like 12 different drawers, and she had them labeled like fun scissors and stickers. And I'm just like, oh, I love this woman, but I just don't know if I love scrapbooking.
I started mentally kind of going through this yesterday because I knew we wanted to talk about it today. But I bet I have spent 2 complete years of my life playing pool. Like, if you take every hour of every day for 2 years, I bet I've spent that playing pool.
So is pool a hobby until you get paid for it? Right?
So I think that's the way it looks. I always think about that when that was the way I put myself through college. I was either broke or had a lot of money. It was never in between. And when I had a lot of money, I felt like I could gamble a lot more. And when I was broke, I had to really, really scrounge. I remember my roommate was this rich kid from California, and he would stake me. Like, he would give me $100 to play. We'd go out, and he'd be like, I get exactly half of your winnings. Otherwise, I take your risk. And I was like, oh, my God, this is the greatest in the world. But then when you'd win a bunch, and then he'd take half of it, it always felt so unfulfilling at the end of the night. But I'm like, I'm not out anything. So I wanted to know, what's your hobby? How much time have you actually really spent on it throughout your life? Morning, Amy. How you feeling?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. What's the hobby, and how much time do you think you've actually devoted to it in your life?
Fishing, at least 4 years.
Okay, so you're the angler, and are you hardcore about it, or do you just like to go out and, you know, sit in the sun and pack a snackle box?
Well, both. It's my heaven, if you want to call it that, and I fish every day, starting in usually April or May, and then until October.
Okay.
You get out
Sometimes
every
twice
single
a day.
day and drop a line in the water.
Yep, even if it's before work or after work. Yep, I sure do.
What's your specialty? What are you catching the most of? Is it panfish, or do you go bigger?
I usually catch the most bass or northern, but I caught my biggest walleye 2 years ago on opener, and so now I'm walleye.
You're all dialed in.
And you know how to do the scaling. You do all of that, like from start to finish, and then you enjoy fruits of your labor. Ooh, I love that. That's great.
Yes.
What's your hobby? And if you had to kind of ballpark it, how much of your life have you spent on this hobby? I saw Sandy's text, but before we get to what you do you have like a great nickname because you've been doing this so long? Like you're the White Widow or something like that?
No, but we have nicknames for, like, if we get like a 6-pack, you know, we call it like the Six Queen or something like that. Or if we get like 4.4, we, we're like, hey, 4 in the hole, just different names for
No, you
Hopefully you don't have to yell that often.
You got to tell everybody what you've been doing. What's your hobby?
I pitch horseshoe for a league. I've been doing it for 22 years.
That's awesome. I love horseshoes.
So is there drinking involved? I feel like drinking and then throwing something so heavy and metal is not a good idea.
When we do the bar league, yeah, we'll have a few drinks, and then I also do a Minnesota State League, and that's a little bit more serious. So we, are a little bit more focused. So it's not so much drinking that part of it.
Is there gambling involved in this? Because I'm finding out the older I get, the more I like to bet on things. Otherwise, it's not as fun.
No, not so much gambling. It's more like I guess a hobby. Just you have to try to improve yourself as best as possible to get that better ringer percentage.
So the best part.
We're going to World in July.
Okay.
Me and my partner actually.
Where do you go for something like that?
This year it's close. It's in Wisconsin, so it's not too far from us.
Travel league. But the best part is you could do this all year round. Like we have the VFW plays inside in their big garage area.
In Becker?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I was just there last Saturday.
You were? Okay, fun.
There.
Small world.
Nice.
And can I ask how old you are if you've been doing this for 22 years?
I am 53.
Okay. And you find that this is your people and you love doing this, huh?
Yeah, I do. It's fun. I like challenging myself, and it's a good time. I really like it a lot.
That's awesome. It's nice to find a group like that.
It sounds pretty wholesome, too. Like you guys aren't, snorting lines off the horseshoes or anything,
No.
Not yet. All right.
Isn't
Thanks,
his
Cindy.
brain weird?
It's just it's like some people elevate. Elevate. God, I got slow brain today. Thanks, Sandy. I appreciate it. I got time for one more real quick. How's Jesse doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. On a completely different level, what is your hobby and how long have you been doing it?
Oh, I spent about 5 years repurposing old furniture. I used to go to thrift shops. Well, when I bought my first house, I went to furniture stores and I was like, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. That's not what I want.
Yeah.
So I started going to thrift stores and I figured out how to repurpose all this furniture. And now I have so much, I had to quit. But it's all beautiful.
Did you ever turn it around for a profit? I mean, are you making money off this?
No, I haven't done it.
Oh, why
I
not?
just wanted to furnish.
You make one-of-a-kind pieces. I would use that to market. You'd say nobody else has this.
Next time I move, I'm downsizing, and I will be selling things.
So what's your favorite thing that you have right now that you repurposed? You made it yours. What's your favorite?
I have a 1950s console record player that is gorgeous.
And it works? Like it still functions?
It still functions.
Right on.
That's amazing.
And it plays beautifully.
Is it an old one? Does it have one of those big horns on it?
No.
Oh.
No, but it's got the two giant speakers on the side, and there's a spot on the top where you can put things for decorations, but then the left side opens up where you can store records and put your records on the player.
Okay.
And then fold it down. It is so cool.
It takes a lot of talent to repurpose furniture. I remember I had it in my mind that I could. And so I bought this table from a garage sale and I'm like, I'm going to lacquer it. And then I'm going to you remember when you'd take chains and stuff and
beat
the living daylights out of it. And I did just two swipes and I was so tired. And I was
I gave it up.
Whatever. And I put it at the end of my driveway. It was gone by the end of the day. But I was like, no, this is not for the weak. So
this is amazing.
Impressive.
I love this. And you got so much stuff you can't do it anymore.
No.
All right.
And I bought this really old, crappy brown table. And it was half falling apart, scratched up, but I sanded it all down, painted it black, screwed everything back together so it's nice. And we use it as our dining room table.
Nice.
Like that. Look at you. And you probably saved a ton of money doing it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It cost me a total of $35.
This is the best.
What a bargain.
You're the best. Thanks for sharing with us. This was fun. Have a great morning.
Oh, thank you. You too.
All right. So what was your hobby? We're getting everything right now. We're going from scrapbooking to billiards to fishing to horseshoes. That was kind of fun. And then the repurposing stuff. You have a hobby. And if you had to nutshell it, how much of your life have you spent doing that hobby? Hit us with a text. I want to go through more of these. Kyle checked in and said, I've been skateboarding for 19 years.
Okay.
I wanted to know the injuries that go along with something like that. Like how
especially as an adult, but I mean, if you were to try skateboarding today and you were going to drop in on a half pipe, you'd be dead.
Yeah, I'd for sure. There'd be an ER visit in the
that's
future.
something you start when you're like 7,
when you're
8 years
pliable.
old. Yeah,
right?
and when you have no fear, too.
Oh, that too.
So I was with my grandma yesterday, and it was just for 10 minutes straight.
Phone's ringing, dude.
It was crazy. Started at, when did I get there? I got there at 8 a.m.
This is a home phone? Do they still have a plug in the wall?
Yes, because my grandfather has a cell phone, but my grandpa is in like rehab care. He had fallen.
Okay.
But he's in care for maybe a couple of more weeks.
Okay.
But so she's at home and she likes to sit in her blue chair in her living room, warm, cozy blanket. She has her lotion and she watches the Olympics. And so she's sitting there and I'm going around her house and I'm cleaning stuff up. Call after call after call of these scammers.
Oh.
And I said, Grandma, is this every single morning? And she said, yeah. And then I said, I feel bad because she goes, I have to answer it because what if it's you or your mom or my husband?
No caller ID on that, huh?
No. And she can't see well anyway.
We are
So
living
it's
in
like,
the 50s.
it was crazy. And I was like getting so angry. I was yelling at automated messages, which I know doesn't make a difference, but I was getting so angry. And I'm like, I maybe get like one a day now. But my phone says don't answer this.
Right, with the new
it's not
iPhone
good.
feature, it'll screen calls that you don't know
Yeah.
for you. And they have to say who they are and why they're calling for it to even get through. And I'm like, this is awesome.
I know. I was reading that 80% of people that were polled say AI has made it harder to detect a scam. What happens, though, if you answer and it's like, I was trying to teach her this. I know it went in one ear, out the other. But if you answer and there's nothing for you saying 3 hellos, it's a scammer.
Or if you can hear a bunch of people in the background, I usually feel it's a scammer, too.
Yeah. Or, she was like, hello, Ellie, this is Angie. And I want to see if you're interested in me buying your house. Give me all your money today. It was just like.
And your grandma was like, sure, I don't want to leave anything for anybody.
I'm lucky that my grandmother is very pessimistic and would not fall for that, but I was so alarmed.
My godmother, bless her soul, I barely knew her. She was an extremely great friend to my grandmother, and she lived in Ames. And towards the end of her life, her kids had all kind of split, right? And they had families and they moved around the country. But she lost millions to religious scammers. Yeah. I mean, so her husband was in the oil fields.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he made his money. And he passed away when she was probably like in her 60s. But when she got into her 70s and 80s, she got scammed by like a religious sect for like everything. She died penniless and they took it all.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's just, you wonder, is it somebody that's just really, really lonely and then the chip goes away in your brain to say, that's not Post Malone in your DMs that needs $100 for his phone bill? Like, I don't know.
I just wonder how do you go to sleep at night knowing you milked somebody out of tens of thousands of dollars and they're never going to see anything for that money? Like,
all I do,
different person, man.
I just press the red button, then I press block, hoping to never.
And then you still get 30 the next day. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like it's such an endless cycle. And I know there's all these chunks of the legislature that's supposed to come. How do you stop it?
I know, but it was driving me mad. I would wipe a counter, another call, go change out the laundry, another call. And so that's her morning. Right now, she's getting like 10, 15 robocalls.
You got to get her a jitterbug or something. You got to get her one of those.
I was going to unplug all the phones.
Yeah.
But then we couldn't get a hold of her, So.
Well, it sounds like she didn't even know you were showing up anyways.
She didn't. She was sleeping. I was like, Grandma.
The TV stations that are down in Fort Myers with players right now, as they're all really starting to get baseball season going, is intoxicating. It looks so great. All the uniforms are so bright white.
Oh, yeah.
And the
Look
field looks great. I was kind of curious if anyone's headed to Fort Myers.
He's cute. Who is that? Tell me.
I don't know, but he's got a high number on, so he's probably not a guy that's going to make the roster.
Well, he's important enough to be spoken to by the news.
Usually it's like a bullpen catcher that they catch up on with this time of the year where they're like, how's the season looking? And he's good. Oh, the season's great. It's great. And then they're like,
look at his smile.
Yeah.
All right.
Look at you. You're infatuated.
Maybe I'll
You're
take
ready
it
for
in a game.
Now you're ready for baseball season. It's right up here. I'm loving this.
Coming up next, here's what's next with Cat and JJ.
By the way, his name is Walker Jenkins. He's an outfielder.
Cat Jenkins. That paired with a hot dog? I mean, what a great day.
Fresh as a daisy and back from the weekend. Good morning. It's the Playhouse with Cat and JJ. Let's peek at what's trending.
So the Federal Transportation Department announced Wednesday that more than 550 commercial driving schools must close after investigators discovered serious safety failures. So a lot of the inspectors were not qualified to do it. I don't know about you, but our high school offered driver's ed for $20, and it was my gym teacher.
Ours
and
did too, yeah.
There's no way. It was our gym teacher and then like a hall monitor. And
I'm sure they had some kind of qualification. They probably went through some kind of training.
I don't know. I don't think so.
But just think about these. These are actual driving schools. This wasn't your high school.
Yeah.
These are driving schools that have to get shut down because they don't know what they're doing.
So they're getting shut down, but 109 of those schools removed themselves from the registry after they learned inspectors were planning a visit. So they were dirty
They
too.
bounce.
And they were like, oh no, we're not going to get busted. All right, so police in Oregon say that a driver of a truck was recklessly driving too fast through an intersection at more than 100 miles per hour. And that amount of feet it flew, clearing a brick wall and then landing inside this guy's home.
Literally launched and boom, right in my house. I just hear this boom and the house shakes. And I'm like, what? Like, what's going on? Like, I must be in a sleep stupor or something. I can't process, like, what I'm seeing in front of me. I didn't expect a flying truck.
So think about that the next time you're looking at a house.
Mm-hmm.
How close is it to the nearest roundabout that somebody might use as a ramp?
I know. About 5 blocks from here, there's that house that's been hit 3 times.
Yeah.
The intersection is very dangerous, can get very slick. And the corner of that house, I would never sit there. I would never have anything there that was of value to me because they've been hit 3 times. You know, I don't know if that's like lucky for them, three's a charm. All right. So have you noticed, and I know that you're not a big candy guy, but Reese's peanut butter cups, people are saying, you know, they taste a bit different.
You got peanut butter on my chocolate.
Well, you got chocolate in my peanut butter.
The grandson of the inventor of Reese's peanut butter cups is saying that Hershey's is skimping and they are now using cheaper ingredients so they can make more. And he just wants to kind of lift the curtain. He's like, listen, this is our legacy. This guy's 70 years old. He says the company replaced milk chocolate with compound coatings and then peanut butter with peanut cream. And so a lot of people noticing the difference. And he's like, I just want to let you know. You know, I'm the
Not
first
my
one
fault.
to say it. Not my fault. It's Hershey's all the way.
All right, Friday morning, Johnny D's going to be here with a couple of mixes. We've got cash galore. And do you have a real awesome Irish name? I mean, the next thing we're all going to start thinking about is St. Paddy's Day. I'm looking for someone who's got an amazing Irish name. And then the goal is to see if we can spell it. That's coming up during our live show Friday morning. Right now, let's finish up the podcast. Catching up on DMs, we want to welcome Alan to the show because we know the boss situation at work isn't exactly primo. You want to tell us about your job here?
My job is pretty awesome, but I have this disgusting boss. And, like, nobody wants his job, so they're not about to fire this man.
Yeah.
But, like, he really doesn't do much besides, like, come in and maybe he'll handle cash or make, like, sandwiches so the to-go orders. But this man does not wear gloves. He doesn't wear a hairnet.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure this man, like, sneezes in his hand. And I need to change this work environment because – like I said, like my coworkers are cool. It's just this dude, he's disgusting. It's
well,
gross.
this company is very lucky to have someone like you. Why don't you go for management? Obviously, you know how it should be run.
I could do that, but I feel like this is just like one of those dead-end jobs. I'll probably be here a couple more years, and if my coworkers disappear, I'm not trying to be there.
Well, you know what? I honestly think you should explore some of the benefits, and this could be somewhere where you really thrive. You could even climb the ladder in this company. You know, you seem pretty
You might be able to
driven.
change the culture.
Yeah, that'd be a big deal.
You guys are giving me more credit than I deserve.
You know, anything with food and the word gross and manager
And
do not
wearing
go
gloves,
together.
Sneezing in your hands.
Makes me a little uneasy. We've had certain people that have come and gone from this place, and we're like, oh, wow, you're in charge. This is crazy.
Anybody
you know?
else have that kind of a job where you look at your boss and you're like, I could easily do this?
So what would you do better is my question. You know, what you don't have to say where you work. I actually don't want to know. But you know, what would you do better than the boss? What is the boss doing that in your mind is underperforming?
The problem is I think most people see, like he does, the end of the road here, and you just don't want to be part of it. You're willing to just put in your time, even though you know you could probably do it better than someone else. There's a reason you're not doing it.
Yeah. But I feel like he could climb the ladder. I feel like if you show the higher ups, I can do this. I know exactly how to, the right way. You know, there are a lot of things that our boss does, but then, you know, some of the stuff you're like, no, you don't really know too much about that. But like, I don't know anything about what he does to keep this place afloat, to keep the T's crossed and the I's dotted. There might be more to that iceberg, you know, but
there usually is, I think.
If they're gross, like Alan's boss, who he called in and said, this guy is just like really gross. Like he knows he sneezes, doesn't wear gloves, makes sandwiches, handles money, makes more sandwiches. It's like you can't possibly expect to lead and tell people to wear gloves and wash their hands when you have to lead.
The worst is when you have a boss that is the say as I do, not, or say as I do, not as, no, say
do as I say, not as I do.
Whatever the hell it is. But you know what I'm talking about. Especially when it comes to food service. Like, if the person that is managing you is gross, like, how do you encourage your friends or family to go into that place?
Alan texted us where he works.
I don't
so
think
we know we can't say it.
I don't think that's a big surprise.
No.
But if you're in a situation where you're walking into work this morning and your boss just isn't cutting it, it's fun to read through these reasons of why you don't want that job. I didn't realize that many people didn't aspire to get into management. You just are willing to work your day, take your check, go home to your family.
Get a bigger check.
Can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me? Everybody!
All right, let's welcome Delaney to the show. And if I got this right, you guys are ready for vacation, right? So what's the problem here?
Yes, we're going on vacation with another couple friends. And I don't know. I'm sort of, last time it didn't go that well, I'll be honest, because my friend lets her husband go out, you know, at night by himself. And I don't know what he's up to. I don't know if he's trying to recruit my man. We don't play that, you know. So
the last trip you went on, you felt like you don't share that same thing, like go run around at night, go have fun in the clubs on the resort. That's not your bag.
No, ma'am.
Yeah.
Unless I'm there, we're having fun together, okay?
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah.
I wonder why she lets him go run it around and do whatever
Well, and
without
listen,
her
we
around.
all know people that are like, oh, I don't really feel like doing that. Go ahead, do it yourself. And then some people really go ahead and do it themselves. Like, I think that's the kiss of death. If my wife was like, yep, go ahead, you can go to the club by yourself, I'd be like, no freaking chance. I feel like I'm getting set up here.
This is a test for sure. So is your husband kind of worried? Because he's going to have to come up with like some excuses now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, he's just going to say, hey, she's not feeling it. We go out together, and that's that.
I like that. A ride or die. You got a ride or die man there. That's good.
He is. My boo, he is.
So I'm gonna put you on hold for a second because I want to ask everyone else if they've had somebody who was maybe like a bad influence on your significant other. Is there somebody in like Derek's life that constantly was pushing him to do stuff that maybe he wasn't gonna do normally?
Maybe back in the day, but I've never met them. You know, like maybe back when he was younger, you know, and kind of lived a fast life like we all have. But no, not since then. But listen, we go on this trip every year, and most of the time we have a couple or maybe two that, you know, one stays out till all hours, the other one goes to bed, then it's, you know, what they talk about the next day. And sometimes it's just not a good situation. I'm lucky to travel with a partner that wants to do everything I want to do. And when we want to go to bed, we go to
He's
bed.
going to bed.
Yeah, that's saying. So have you ever been in a situation where you traveled with a couple, or in life you have someone that is a bad influence on your significant
I think there's more
other?
guys than girls usually.
And probably.
I think there's more because my wife put a pretty hard kibosh on a lot of my college friends.
Yeah.
Where she's like, these people just don't need to be around you anymore. Like, you're a different guy.
Yeah, but sometimes we see something that you guys don't see, you know?
Like fun?
Like, yeah, or you'll be in trouble. We want to save you from being in trouble.
Bingo! How fun!
Last week, someone lost an eye at bingo.
Bingo.
Bingo what bingo? Bingo!
This morning, Cat's on the hunt for anyone listening who
was on a flight back in the day where smoking was allowed. So an American Airlines flight was delayed after they realized their no smoking signs were all missing. So somebody
took all of them?
I think it's just obviously the understanding now of the public that you just don't, or you'll be fined heavily or be put on a no-fly list, which is not ideal. But it's really only been, what I read was like 39 years.
Yeah. I remember being on a flight with this happening. I remember going to Fort Bragg with my dad.
Yeah.
And it was a civilian flight. And I remember flying out there, and it was so cloudy by the time we landed. And I was just a little kid. And I remember it was so bad.
I don't know how they thought, even after the first couple of flights, of being stuck in this tin can with all that smoke would be a good idea, and they didn't nix it right away. But I do remember flying when they still had the ashtrays in the armrest, the metal ones that would like a quick clip back. But I don't ever remember flying when smoking was allowed. So, but you have been on a flight where it was.
I'm looking for anyone listening who, and we just played this Jen Garner clip, but has been either beaten, run over, or bitten by a wild animal and it almost killed you.
Luckily, I was scuba certified. I went to the bottom, held onto a weight, was breathing, watching till the sharks were where I wanted. And then I would say, okay, I'm going. And then I would go through this tunnel. My first take, I was going through and the hammerhead shark was coming through the other way. And I was just thinking, they smell fear, they smell fear, they smell fear.
That whole diving with the sharks thing, what if they're really hungry that day?
Well, it's a risk you got to take.
I just couldn't do it. So I'm looking for anyone listening who either got bit by a wild animal or maybe a ram hit you from behind, like in the cartoons, and you went flying over a cliff. I'm looking for something where you had an engagement with a wild animal and it ended really poorly. Or maybe you're somebody listening who
flew back in the day when smoking was allowed. Like, tell us about it. It's like a time machine.
Who do you want to sue?
I'll get to that. But I wanted to start with this story about the guy that sued Buffalo Wild Wings.
What a knucklehead.
What a knucklehead.
Randy612 writes, if you like boneless wings, you dirty. Thanks for the input, Ran Man. But B-Dubs completely reinvented their boneless wings. So get to B-Dubs for the new boneless wings.
We all know they're just nuggets, all right? We're all aware of that, but now you're suing them because that's misrepresentation?
That is what this guy's lawsuit was. He said that it's not fair. You cannot coax us in saying that they are boneless wings when they're really essentially chicken nuggets covered in sauce. But then a federal judge is like, sir, please don't waste our time anymore. They ruled that Buffalo Wild Wings can continue to call them boneless wings. I have noticed that, they went through kind of like a slump where like the meat was scarce, and then I don't know, maybe they found a new distributor, something. But the boneless wings, I think, are very good. But if you could sue someone for something, what would it be and why? I was thinking the fact that my emotions were played with at the airport in Cancun with my shrimp, my honey walnut shrimp, where they take the spoonful and then they put it in and then they realize maybe they counted wrong because they can only put a certain amount in.
They took some out.
And then they took one out and I was like, whoa. Like, I didn't feel good about that, just leave it in. That was your mistake, I
would like to sue every state.
For what?
Potholes.
Yes.
You are telling me that we've got astronomers and satellites that can see into the next 50 solar systems, but you can't make it so that in the spring there aren't potholes the size of small cars on the road.
You couldn't pay me enough to live on 3rd, by the way. And then there's one by the gas station by my house that I keep forgetting about. And one day it will be at my car's expense.
You should be able to have whatever state you're listening from pay for your car repairs if you hit one of those things.
If they can prove that your alignment was knocked off, your tire is not the way it should be functioning, they should pay for it.
Look at everything else we can do as a society, but you haven't figured out how to make that road not have a giant pothole in it, and I'm whatever. I don't know the science behind it, but it's always bothered me.
I'd love to know. There's somebody out there that knows.
The last neighborhood we lived in, I went out, there was 2 huge potholes, and my boneheaded high school kids would hit them every day. We went through alignments and tires and rims on cars, and when I went out there to patch it, I put in a bunch of that sand that when you get it wet, it sticks. People use it for the patios. I put a bunch of that in there, and they were gonna sue. Like, I was gonna have to pay a ticket for messing with their road, even though there was 3 small human beings that had been stuck in the bottom of that hole for weeks, and nobody came to get them. It was that big. I was going to throw a rope down there, but it was easier just to throw some corn down there. But I'm like, how are we at a point where we got potholes still? Isn't that just friggin' ridiculous?
And we're not yelling at the people that fill the potholes.
No,
we know you're just doing your job, but it just is crazy, and it's every single year more and more. It's not. We should anticipate it in the fall.
There has got to be some kind of layer you can put on that just stops it from seeping in there and cracking.
And if you know more than we do, we need an explanation. I think that maybe some people would back off then. You're going to start to see on your timeline feed a lot of people posting about it.
And we're at that time of the year. Yeah,
in.
It's going to start happening like crazy. I've already noticed it on some of the roads I drive. And the worst is you're coming in here at 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning. You're weaving all over the place to miss these potholes. For sure, you're going to get pulled over. Someone's going to go, "Are you hammered?"
And you know the city has a pothole patrol.
You're supposed to just call it in.
Yeah.
Does
if you
that
have
work?
like a really bad one in front of your house, you like report it to the city or something. You send in a picture, the coordinates,
and then they triage that one.
But it's not ideal.
It makes me angry, and I'm angry now.